He's been around the game his entire life. First as the son of an NBA father, then we became aware of what could be during those college days at Davidson.
With the 7th pick, Stephen Curry from Davidson College.
I made people last in double-digit years. Starts now and building a foundation. I don't have nothing to prove, but I got a lot to accomplish.
The first unanimous selection in the entire history of the NBA.
He has changed the game.
Bang! Bang! Oh, what a shot from Curry! Stephen Curry, breathtaking.
It's taken 40 years. The Mays team is the best team.
There it is, redemption for Golden State. The Golden State Warriors champions once again. There it is! The all-time three-point king in the NBA!
The greatest shooter this game has ever seen.
He's now 34 years old. Hard to believe. He just completed his 13th season. And he's still electrifying, and clearly he's still winning as he gets his 4th title and does it on the road. Again, 3 of these 4 they've clinched on the road in such a tough place like Boston against such a terrific team like the Celtics. Ring number 4 and a Finals MVP. Just another addition to the trophy case. A 4-time champion, 2-time MVP, won a couple of scoring titles, a perennial All-NBA, and gets that one trophy, the Finals MVP, after tonight's victory. Clearly one of the great players in the history of the game. Anybody wants to doubt that, wherever you want to put him, that gets all silly and ridiculous. But he is one of the most unique players, Mark, that's ever played.
He absolutely is. And the lazy reporting, which we all have done, is call him the greatest shooter of all time. No, he's one of the greatest players that this league has ever seen. And the sacrifice that he puts his body through to make guys around him better hasn't been seen in the history of this game, in my opinion.
And Jeff, from the get-go, it's always been about team and about winning. Yes, sir, he likes to dazzle the crowd, but his goal every night when he takes the floor is to get a victory.
It is, and the thing I've always appreciated beyond his great skill level is he's improved as a defender. He's an outstanding rebounder for a guard, and I think those nitty-gritty type stuff lead directly to winning. So when you see your best player commit to the hard parts of the game, which is defense and rebounding, and then you add to it like that these special skills that he has, you've got great leadership. And I think what people don't talk about, because he's not long-winded in what he says, is that he is a truly outstanding leader.
So you look at this team now, 6 finals in 8 years, 4 titles in 8 years. Again, the only 2 years that they did not get to the finals, they had devastating injuries, including one key player the entire time, and Curry pretty much missed one entire season except for 5 games. The dynasty thing gets tossed around sometimes a little too easily, but they are certainly one of those teams that you could say in their era was a dynasty.
Well, absolutely, and they're not going anywhere. When you look at their future, Klay Thompson's only going to get better, and they're going to add pieces via free agency and draft and movement, which we know they've come accustomed to watching them do. They're not going anywhere.
I think the most remarkable thing is you lose Durant, one of the greatest players we've ever seen in free agency, and somehow 2 years or 3 years later, you're an NBA champion again. I think that is one of the most remarkable things I've ever seen.
You know, one other thing about Steph Curry, I don't know if he gets the proper recognition for the sacrifice he made when Kevin Durant came. He had won 2 MVPs. He had won a championship, and he sacrificed shot attempts. He sacrificed perhaps scoring, and said to Kevin Durant, you come in, you're going to help us win. I don't care if you're the main guy or whatever. And sometimes he doesn't get the proper credit for that.
Well, he doesn't, but, you know, give him credit for doing just that, and that's how unselfish a player he is. That's just like when we brought Jeff on, Mike. I understood greatness was coming aboard.
All right, so let's turn our attentions to the team. You know, it's going to be such elation for Golden State. It's such a difficult way for a great season to end for Boston. You always feel badly for the team that gets to the finals. They have this magnificent season, yet they walk off the court feeling awful.
Yeah, up 2-1, and you don't know if you're ever going to get these opportunities again. And I think if you play really well and you get beaten by a better opponent, it's one thing. But they're going to really rue the amount of turnovers that they had in this series. And they're going to have to, and I think they will. I think they'll improve offensively from this because they're going to have to.
And you talked about it. You can always say, well, we'll get them next year. We'll be back and we'll be better. I went to the finals one time in 17 years. You got to capitalize when the opportunity presents itself. And that's the thing, in my opinion, that's going to sting this Celtic team moving forward.
So the Boston Celtics, a great season, comes to a tough end on their home floor. But for the Golden State Warriors, the time where they share their joy and their celebration with their families as well. You heard Bob Myers talk about it. The families have to sacrifice just as much. And it means so much to share this moment and another championship with them. Golden State Warriors, once again, the standard in the NBA. The party's just beginning. And I'm sure they're celebrating in San Francisco as well, as they take the NBA Finals in 6 games. Coming up next, we'll head up to the studio and get their take on yet another Golden State championship.